let's move to the session 1. The topic of discussion is ASEAN Precious Metals Market Update. The session would be chaired by Mr. Amar Singh, Head of Metals, Asia Pacific and Middle East, StoneX Group, INC. Mr. Amar Singh, please join us on the stage. The speakers that would join along with Mr. Amar Singh are Mr. Ermin Siow, Advisor, Federation of Goldsmiths and Jewelers Association, Malaysia. Mr. Ermin Siow. Request audience here, please, a round of applause as the speakers come on stage. Mr. Hung Tung Khan, Vice Chairman, Vietnam Gold Traders Association. Mr. Kun Golf, Managing Director, MTS Group, Thailand. Ms. Anna from Lao Bullion Bank. Mr. Dulguun Erdenebaatar from President and CEO Boroo Private Limited. And Pak Ajie Mohamad Maulendra, Executive Analyst at the Indonesian Financial Services Authority, OJK. A detailed resume of each of our speakers is available at the website as well as in the conference app. With this introduction, I hand over the session to Mr. Amar Singh. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I think it has been a fantastic morning. Of course, it started yesterday, but the morning has been fantastic. Of course, KL, David Tate, Ruth, Albert Chang. I think it's all exciting thing what this platform bring to the precious metal industry, not just for the ASEAN region, which particularly we are going to talk, but I think it's for the global market. So I'd like to first thank you, GS and SBMA, for giving me this opportunity to host such a great panel. And I think all of you know most of them, but I'll give a quick intro. And I think from the first on my right side, we have Ermin Siow. I think a lot of you know whoever has dealt with Malaysia and in the region, but Ermin Siow will be talking us through what's happening in Malaysia, what's changes going on, and so on. And then we have Mr. Khan. Always Vietnam has been extremely close to us, and I hope Mr. Khan will share some insight, which is quite, we are looking forward. Then we have Kun Golf. I don't think he need any intro. Dulguun, we have a kind of, I met him first time, but he is based in Singapore and has the mining asset. So we have a perfect example of, again, Singapore as a marketplace, what it provides to the industry. And then we have Nana, who is going to share some of the development there. And of course, Ajie, and nothing gets like Dr. Ferry talked about such a solid development what we are seeing. So I'll start with 2 minutes, and then I'll invite all of them to share their views and thoughts. It's a big panel, 1 hour, so hard job for me to manage, but I'll do my best. ASEAN is gold or precious metal market has played a very strong role in the ASEAN market, or I will say in whole Asia, but particularly in ASEAN market. Again, very close to their life, their culture. And I would say some of the places, especially on account of whether geopolitics or political uncertainty or currency, it is seen as a very stable means of currency. So I see gold, like, I'm Indian, so I know how close it is to an Indian household. But clearly I see the very similar characteristic and nature in the rest of this market. Singapore, what has done in more than 2 decades, particularly as BMA, since we formed in 2012, it has created the platform. It has partnered with all the ASEAN market to begin with, and we clearly see the benefit Singapore is bringing to the region. And we all are here at least annually and sharing views, thought, connecting, exchanging the ideas, as well as what all the barriers and challenges we have, how do we come about. So I think Singapore has done a fantastic role in becoming the gateway or hub for entire marketplace. So congratulations to KL and rest of SBMA committee for doing the fantastic work. It's an interesting time for precious metal market. You'll hear about market, so I'll not go there. But maybe I'll invite Ermin Siow, kindly share us what's happening in Malaysia, what's changes, if at all, any we are seeing, and how you see the integration with the regional as well as global economy. Welcome to you, Ermin Siow.
Thank you, Mr. Amar, for the introduction. And I also want to thank SBMA for giving me the opportunities once again to brief you all a little bit on the Malaysian markets, precious metal jewelry market. Thank you, Mr. Albert Chang and Mr. KL Yap, for the opportunities. My job today is give a very brief update on what's happening in Malaysia precious metal industry. For all of you here, or most of you here, you will be probably aware that Malaysia is predominantly it's a plain gold jewelry market. I would say more than 85% of the precious metal jewelry sold in the market is of plain gold jewelry. And they are mainly in the finest 22K. We'll have a look at the domestic market size. I quoted the figures from Metal Focus. The latest figure I have here is for the whole year of 2024 and the first quarter of 2025. For the finished jewelry section, we have about 11.5 tons. This is, of course, is referring to all the new gold we use. And for the investment, where we refer to the gold bar, the small gold bar from 1 gram to 100 gram, or even up to the cast bar, 1,000 gram. The amount we use, according to Metal Focus, is about 7.5 tons. So that makes up the total of about 19 tons for the whole year. But as you're probably aware, in gold retail, we accept trade-in. There are actually quite a big percentage of customers coming into the shops, selling back their scrap gold or used gold in exchange of new gold. And this could take up probably about 30 to 40% of the total turnover. So if you were to consider these trade-in activities, the total gold demand for domestic market in Malaysia probably will come out to about 25 to 30 tons a year. Of course, I have to talk a little bit on the export side. Malaysia has actually exported more plain gold jewelry than it consumed domestically. They used to. In fact, in the early 90s or in the early 20s, we used to sell quite a fair bit of, export quite a fair bit of this finished gold jewelry, mainly to the Middle East market, in the region of about 40 to 50 tons a year. So I have to be frank, we are not exporting as much now due to a couple of reasons. We look at some of the figures we have here. Actually, I quoted all these figures from the Statistical Department of Malaysia. Quarter by quarter, we look at the third column in terms of tons. So it's actually averaging about 5.5 tons per quarter. That makes up about total slightly more than 20 tons a year. And you look at the first quarter of 2025, we have increased slightly more than 6 metric tons a year. And the export market, as usual, mainly to the Middle East, but also quite a fair bit through Singapore, which is a transshipment center, and a little bit to Hong Kong and Thailand as well. The amount of export has declined, especially since after the COVID. A lot of exporters, mainly from Penang, who used to hand carry their stuff to Middle East, to Singapore, because of COVID, they couldn't do so. And they switched their market actually to domestic. Instead of exporting now, they actually sell to the domestic. And after doing that, now they are a bit reluctant to actually go back to the export side. There are many reasons. One is, of course, they are probably competing with a lot of newcomers. Some are actually from the Middle Eastern countries, where they actually produce their own jewelry now. And also the high gold price has made the trade, export trade, not as lucrative because the gold price keep increasing, the raw material keep increasing, but the workmanship, which is their main profit center, is not increasing correspondingly. So it makes the export sector not as lucrative as before when the price of gold is actually lower. So we are averaging now probably around 25 to 30 tons a year now in terms of export, more or less on par with the domestic consumption. I would like to quote the performance of two public listed companies, which show the actual figure, which is you can find in the website. How do they do? I mean, the latest public size figures. We have two public listed retail companies. One is Tome, the other one is Pokong. Of course, Tome, one of the executive directors are here, Mr. Ng, and I'm actually from Pokong. Tome has about 50 plus of retail outlets throughout Malaysia. And if you look at their first quarter 2025 performance, the net profit increased about 33%, and the revenue growth is about close to 8%. Their financial year actually coincides with their calendar year. If you look at the Pokong has 91 retail outlets as of today, and our financial year is slightly different from the calendar year. We closed our account end of July. So the latest figure I can quote here is the second quarter of 2025 of our financial year, which refers to November 24, year 24, to January 25. We've actually closed our account for the third quarter, which is end of April. But I'm not at the liberty to disclose now because it's not publicized yet. So Pokong has a 7.8% increase in net profit and less than 2% growth in revenue. But if you were to consider the increase in price of gold, the revenue growth actually does not reflect the growth in the total amount of gold you sell. In fact, for both of us, Tommy and Pokong, the revenue, if you were to look at it from the amount of gold sold, it has actually decreased somewhat. So what are the issues that are actually probably bothering the precious metal industry in Malaysia? The first one, high value goods tax. This I mentioned last year when I did my presentation, which is actually commonly referred to luxury tax. The government is supposed to introduce it in July 2024. But in the budget last year, they actually suspended it. And we actually have, from the information that we get from the relevant ministry, we don't expect this so-called high-value goods tax to be introduced anytime soon. So it's quite a good news, actually. The other issue is the e-invoicing, which I mentioned last year as well. It has already been implemented for those companies with revenue 100 million ringgit and above per year. So both Tommy and Pokong are affected. We were actually very worried when, waiting for this e-invoicing to be introduced. But so far, the impact, especially the negative impact, is not that bad as expected. I mean, we do lose some sales because some of the customers, when they come and purchase, especially high-value items, they would not like to disclose their personal details. So we cannot issue invoice because under the e-invoicing rules and regulation, the purchaser or the consumer has to give their ID, their contact number, their address, So if they refuse to give, we will lose the sale. But good to say the incidents where this happened is not that significant. So the government basically at the moment is still relatively stable, even though it's not a majority government. It's actually a combination of a few parties. And with the not too bad economy that we experience now, I believe this PMI industry, precious metal industry, will still enjoy very good growth going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ermin, for sharing the insight. Please take your seat. I would like to invite now the most interesting, I would say, economy right now for the gold from our perspective is Vietnam. So, Mr. Khan, please come, or you can talk from there as well as per your convenience. But please share us what's happening in Vietnam. Is there any likely changes we keep hearing every year? So, panel is to you now.
Yes, thank you, Amar. Also, I would like to take this occasion to thank Albert, SBMA and Albert for inviting me to speak. A few months ago, Albert asked me a question, say that do you have anything new to speak on Vietnam? I say that hopefully that by the time the APPMC, that we will have some good news to announce. And today is luckily that I have some good news to announce to the audience. Yeah. First, I would make some so-called update on the market in Vietnam for last year and for the first 2 quarters of this year. In 2024, so the total offtake of Vietnamese demand by the figures of World Gold Council and GFMS is about 55.3 tons, in which 42 tons is in retail investment and 13 tons in gold jewelry. Vietnam physical gold demand was the highest among the 3 ASEAN gold market. Thailand was on second rank with 48.8 tons, and Indonesian was third with 47.3 tons. And this year, in the first month of 6 months of 2025, by our estimate, Vietnam physical gold demand is reaching the level of 28 tons, with jewelry consumption at 6 tons and retail investment at 22 tons. While the local gold price have reached their all-time high at Vietnamese dong 124 million per barrel, the equivalent to US dollar $3,975 per ounce. And about the bar demand, in 2024, the demand for retail investment products, such as the SGC gold tail bar and the 24-karat G rings, was still prevailing at 76% of the total physical gold demand. The main reason for this strong gold investment demand was the sharp increase in gold value versus the Vietnamese dong. Have a 30% year-on-year increase in 2024. And other investment tools, such as stock and real estate, not performing very well in the same period. In short of supplies, gold tail bar premium have reached the all-time high level of Vietnamese dong, 20 million dong per barrel, equivalent to US dollar 666 per ounce. In order to reduce this high premium level to fight against also gold smuggling, from May until November 24, the SBV have decided to increase the gold tail bar supply by auction and direct sales, providing more than 14 tons of gold tail bar to the market. So now the good news is on July 24 this year, the Vietnamese Prime Minister, Mr. Pham Minh Chinh, have so-called instructed the State Bank of Vietnam to revise and revise and amend the current gold management policy in order to provide more gold supply to the market and therefore reducing the high premium of gold bar from the now 20% down to 1 to 2% level. More importantly, on May 28 of this year also, the General Secretary of the Communist Party, Mr. To Lam, have given the following directives on gold market management. First, to abolish the state monopoly on gold tail production and trading. Second, to allow gold raw material imports for gold jewelry manufacturing and to encourage jewelry export with the export tax waiver. And thirdly, to set up a national gold exchange in order to facilitate gold investment trading. So this is the best news for the Vietnamese gold trade during the past decade. On our side, the Gold Traders Association, so I think that in the next 6 months, the Vietnamese Gold Traders Association, VGTA, with the support of the Gold Council, will be working jointly with the State Bank of Vietnam in order to doing the following policy change. First, the total revision of the Decree 24 on gold management policy on the basis of separation between governmental administration and business trading. Second, doing a complete liberalization by the SBV on production and sales activities of physical gold products. Number 3 is doing the imports of gold raw material for jewelry manufacturing, gold bar, and for also production of based on the so-called total demand of the market. And the 4th is the setup of a national gold exchange under the management supervision of the SBV, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Industry and Trade. So this is, we will have, next 6 months we will have many changes, many good news for the gold trade. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khan, for sharing this insightful. I'm sure we all are excited. And I hope with all this clear vision from the leadership, we will see some business directly. And good luck to VGTA, Mr. Khan. I would like to invite now Khun Golf to share the Thailand market insight. I think we all know, but possibly sharing some of the changes. Khun Golf, welcome.
Okay, so I'm Golf from MTS Thailand. So today I will update about the Thai market. As you know, compared to Singapore, actually Thailand market has been one of the very significant in terms of development in gold, in terms of trading, in terms of physical, in terms of exchange traded products. We have quite a complete set of all the gold setup. So just a quick recap. As you can see that, you know, the import demand in Thailand, as what Mr. Khan has said, it has been increasing and slowly decreasing. But I think during 2024 and 25, a lot of the material has been exported from Thailand as there was so much jewelry scrap that is coming out. Especially who doesn't know that the Thai market is usually a 965, which is 96.5 gold, 3.5 silver. So it's a very interesting market because we are the only country in ASEAN that doesn't sell bullion bar in 99.99. We sell it at 96.5. So it's a very Thai unique. So as you can see with the gold price rising, the Thai market is a bit unique because you can both import and export. It's different from, let's say, a Chinese market where you can only import. And for Indian market also for only import. But Thailand, I think, is one of the very few ASEAN countries who you can import and export freely, like Singapore. So for the local gold price, as you can see that this is for 2025, it has go up almost 23%, aligned with the inflation number in locally. As you can know that now the inflation in around the world, whether in Asia, whether in the US, is going up. So gold has been a choice of a lot of customer and investor to buy to protect their wealth. So Thai gold has already been reached all-time high at 54,800 baht gold, which is in the Thai unit in 965, and it has risen 23%. Last year, I think it was risen about 20%. So total within 2 years already increased 40%. So a lot of the consumer now has a change of behavior. Instead of before, they would buy a jewelry. Now it's getting too expensive to buy a jewelry. So a lot of the trend now is going towards buying bullion bar, minted bar. So the minted bar market has exploded in Thailand, I think in the past 1-2 years, because a lot of people are now buying a more minted bar as a storage of wealth rather than the jewelry. Of course, the jewelry they still buy, but again, with such a high price at this price, it's very difficult now for the local retail or the local people to buy the gold. So I think the trend is our jewelry will have to get smaller and smaller as the gold price go up. The other thing that I also want to show is the Thai baht. So a lot of the gold in Thailand is sold in the local currency in Thai baht. As you can see that Thai baht is in a reverse correlation with the gold price. So the BOT has been trying to communicate with the local traders on how to, do buy sell of precious metal without affecting the Thai baht. So I think 2-3 years ago, they have been introducing a new scheme. They have been giving out a special license to, I think, about 5 to 6 gold traders to buy, sell gold in other currency, which is in US dollars. So as MTS, we are one of the first few who got the license to be able to sell gold. As you know, in Thailand, everything you buy must be in local currency, which is Thai baht. But gold bullion and gold product has been one of the very first few who you can purchase and sell in other currency, which is US dollars. So these are one of the very new development, so that we buy sell gold in dollar term so that we doesn't affect the Thai baht. So that's where the BOT is coming from. So for a quick recap in the gold market, in 2024, the safe haven has been a big demand, which is 25% increase to 7.4 tons in Thailand. And I think in Q1, we have been the lead in Southeast Asia at 17% increase, about 9.1 ton, highest quarterly consumer growth. So as you know, Q1, there has been a Trump, a lot of tariff, reciprocal tariff, so gold is shooting up like crazy. So the demand of the customer is buying to protect, because I think similar to other ASEAN countries, the stock market is not doing well, the real estate is doing very bad in Thailand, and especially Thai economy, we depend a lot on the tourists. And then a lot of Chinese tourists, I think there was some incident, so they couldn't come. So the economy is not so good right now. So the only performing asset that is left in the Thai economy is gold. And these are one of the very few ones. So I think that's why we have a record high of the 7th highest demand in the world for gold bar and gold coin. Growth about 39.8% compared to 2024. So this year has been a significant growth for the minted bar, for the bullion bar. As for the gold jewelry, demand still remains strong, but declined slightly, about 2% to 9 tons. So still good, but not as good as expected. And the OTC volume for gold, so in Thailand also has reached a record high of almost 2,567 tons for the online trading and the exchange trading. And our exporter is strengthened with significant export figure of almost 128 tons from 2000 to 2024. So just Thai gold market, we have almost 60 wholesale shops, about now 90 retail. A lot of the gold fund, SPDR gold fund that is held globally, if you look at the SPDR locally, it's actually held a lot by the Thai mutual fund, which is a FIF, Foreign Investment Fund. We have almost 10 million largest in Thailand also our exchange, Thailand Future Exchange, trade the largest gold futures contract in Southeast Asia, the largest, and over 100 tons of annual physical transactions. So these are the data of the global gold market. So for the trend of Thai, as I mentioned, that I think Thai market has been quite in a trend, follow with the Singapore in terms of starting as a, a very mom and pop shop for a gold retail shop. We call it a red door shop, which is a gold, in a red color, very traditional. Then we have transformed ourselves into the online trading. And then we transform ourselves into the exchange trading, meaning we are a hybrid of gold exchange and future exchange and traded on the Thai exchange. And I think in 2024, 2025, especially the COVID has accelerated the next trend, which is called digital trading. So digitalization of gold trading and everything has been growing a lot and significantly in Thailand. So in Thailand, we are a bit unique because in Thailand, the banks are not allowed to do gold. So it's a bit unique compared to other Southeast Asia. Only the bullion traders are allowed to do gold. But now the trend is that since the bank cannot do gold, what they are doing is they are trying to do a lot of partnership with the largest gold traders. So for us, like for example, they have been doing a lot of partnership with a largest state-owned bank, KTB. We also work with a launching app called KKP, under KKP Bank, DAN. And latest, we have been also partnership with the K-Bank, which is one of the third largest bank in Thailand for gold trading. So now you can see the trend that the bank is trying to offer a new product of gold investment in the application of the bank. Like for example, in KTB, the app, there's about 40 million users in the bank app. So with all this technology and all the innovation, of course, other than the trend of this innovation, there's also other kind of innovation that's coming, which is the increasing of scam. I don't know whether in Southeast Asia they have. So if anybody contact you as me, please, and it give you 20% return, please think it's not me. I think, I don't know in other country, but in Thailand it's a lot now, meaning a lot of, you can see the fake Facebook page, and they photocopy my picture, just put it there, say, oh, you get a 25% return. And it's a lot. And I think this is the trend of the scammer also, meaning that as the technology sophisticate, a lot of the scam page. And you can see the follower is not small, it's like 10,000, 20,000. So I think these are some of the trends that I think other ASEAN countries will start facing. And of course, I think it's good that, SBMA and a lot of regulators have to get together, because now when we try to contact whether Facebook, TikTok, Instagram or whatever, there are no response. Because the fake page are paying ads to Facebook. We are not paying Facebook. So Facebook want to keep the people who pay the ads, but not us. But anyways, so these are one of the big problems now in Thailand, because scammer, I think there's a love scam, a pig butchering scam, now there are gold scam. Okay, so people are saying, oh, please put some investment with MTS. So they use exactly the same name, MTS, in Thai, Mae Suk, everything the same. Put the picture, do everything. And I think we have at least a few hundreds. And a lot of the local retail investors are getting scammed on all this. So now I think the local regulators and the gold traders are trying to get together to help tackle this issue. And I think this trend will not just happen in Thailand. We believe that the scammer are trying, now the scammer and everybody are very sophisticated. They are probably going towards other countries to try to do this. So I think this will be one of the big trends that is coming to your countries for the scam. So please also be careful. And of course, if it's me contacting you, must only be me, not the people on the Facebook. Okay. So because of all this scamming and increase of this so-called regulatory, what Thai, especially the Thai Gold Association, are coming up next is that we need to have more control. We need to have more compliance to help. And the next one is the Thai Gold Association expanding to build our own first SRO regulatory for the bullion industry. So this year we'll start launching the self-regulatory. Khun Bullet at the back are the head who are doing the head of the SRO to do the management for the GTA, Thai Gold Association. So the need for the SRO, of course, is to increase the compliance requirement, to increase the market sentiment, enhance market transparency, support the market growth, and tackle, those scams or those unregulated activities in Thailand to make sure that the bullion market is protected, the investor is protected, and the retail is also protected. Okay? So these are some quick insight on the Thai market. Thank you.
Thank you, Gungol. I'm sure you all enjoyed some of the insights that he shared, and I think the last one, I think we all need to be extremely careful as we are embracing the technology. Without wasting even a second, maybe I'll invite Kunnana. You shared us last time about some of the forward-looking development. Please quickly, we have only some minute left, and I have two more panelists too.
Sure. Thanks very much, Mr. Amar. So I'll go quickly as well. Well, after hearing all these presentations, I feel like, what we started is super new. So really hope that this, will be something interesting and sharing with all of you here. So first of all, welcome to Bullion Bank. This is my second year of being here. Thank you so much for having me again. So this year, I come here as a representative of Bullion Bank, an official partner of SBMA. So thank you so much for having us. A little bit about those who we haven't met before. We come from a group of a conglomerate in Laos called PTL Holding, investing in this Bullion Bank together with the government of Laos. So our group invests and operate business in several sectors, from trading, petroleum, logistics, and also venturing into financial sector as well as technology. Some of the flagship projects that you might have heard about our project would be Petroleum Trading, which is a listed company in Laos Stock Exchange, as well as Vientiane Logistic Park or Thanalang Dry Port. You heard it right. We are a landlocked country. We don't have seaports, so we have to operate dry ports. And apart from that, we have a project of Laos-Vietnam Railway. So you can see that we have ventured into, those projects that helped this country turning from a landlocked to a land-linked country. That's why this time what we are doing is to contribute into turning a country from a capital-locked to a capital-linked country. So Bullion Bank is one of the first projects of this initiative. After APPMC last year, about a few months, we were able to soft launch our Bullion Bank in September, following by grand opening in December last year as well. Why gold industry? Well, because Laos is ranked at the third largest, gold mine industry in Southeast Asia, so the opportunities are there. We still have unmined gold of approximately 1,000 tons, so we need to manage this properly and bring this back into the financial industry. We are solving significant problems here. First of all, we have a lot of gold mines, and in the last 20 years, most of these, gold doré are being exported out of the country, and the settlement is being done outside the country. So the foreign currency from the sales of gold doesn't come back in. The problem was because there was no proper financial institutional support. Apart from that, people import gold. And people keep gold at their household of around 10 billion US dollar. Therefore, our job is basically to bring gold outside the system back into the system and make it work in the financial sector. That's it. So that is why Bullion Bank happened, with a vision of, leading the standardization of Lao bullion market, modernize it, and then, manage the national resources that we have properly. How do we do that? Number one, uplift the standard of the Lao bullion market. Number two, we have to modernize the gold industry. I love how you talk about innovation because we also have to accelerate the innovation of the products to meet the demand of the customers as well. So in order to do that, we need to build the ecosystem properly. And of course, we are super happy to explore with you guys. First, in order to build these ecosystems, we have to have bullion banking service, which we are doing now. After having this banking service, we then have to manage our reserve properly. When we have the reserve, we have to then manage the supply chain properly and get the right gold refinery support. Thanks to our partners. Without all these partners, we wouldn't be here today. So I really would like to express my gratitude on behalf of the group to all of you here. Let's talk a little bit about our products and services that we have. We actually offer, because in order to bring gold outside the system back into the system, you have to think about how to incentivize the public. First of all, we create gold savings account by providing 2% of interest to the customer for fixed term deposit of 12 months. And the mechanism that we use is the customer who deposit gold, we issue the gold certificate to them. They can use these gold certificates to pledge with banks and financial institutions to get financing. This is the way we want to increase the liquidity of the market in our financial sector. Apart from that, we have other plain vanilla products such as safety box, metal loans, some little refinery. We have automatic gold machines. We do trading and other services. So this is a reason why we need to work with other, financial institutions and banks in Laos, because we would love to strengthen the credit ecosystems. In the past, we used to have, those collaterals, and it's so hard to liquidate when it comes to the customers who have problems. So that is why we work by establishing partnership with other banks and financial institutions. Okay, so this is super new. So you guys are the first group of people to know this. We are going to launch a mobile platform called LBB Plus in the next couple of months. So hopefully this LBB Plus can be connected with your services as well. What kind of collaborations that you can help our community? Because when I say our community, because we are only a few of those in the community. We are the only bullion bank in Laos, and we partner with other gold players in industries. We partner with all the banks and financial institutions. So that's why we are still very open to look for potential collaborations with partners to help build our community here. We are looking for trading partner, banking partner, correspondent banking partner, LBMA partner, as well as capacity building partner and others. Yes, so thank you so much for having us once again. Thank you.
Congratulations on your launch, and I wish you again continued success for Laos Bank. We all are here, and I'm sure everybody will look forward to interacting and seeing the potential partnership collaboration.
Thank you.
We have 12 minutes. Maybe Ajie, I would like to, Dulguun, I'll come to you maybe quickly just to to Pak Ajie, just to share. We heard a lot from Pak Ferry about all the development, and Indonesia always has been, I would say, a solid market from mining, refining, fabrication, all kind of services. But some of these changes are integrating more closer to the global economy. So Mr. Ajie, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. I will share about the latest development of our bullion financial services in Indonesia, as I mentioned previously by Pak Ferry Irawan. So a quick recap that Indonesia, the previous one. Yes, a quick recap that currently Indonesia try to unlock the huge potential of our bullion market. We already know that Indonesia is in Southeast Asia, especially we are the largest gold producer in the world. We are 8th largest gold producer, and in terms of the gold reserve, we are the 6th largest in the world. So given that high profile of Indonesian gold production, study by McKinsey estimated that Indonesia has approximately around 1,800 tons, and of 1,800 tons, there are more than 300 tons of gold bars or gold bullion that can be monetized to financial service institution. And this is huge. It's already give you the big numbers of the huge potential of bullion financial services in Indonesia. And for the dynamic of the market, Indonesia has a high gold demand, especially from jewelry industry. It is showed by the increasing trend of a gold bar import over times. And then another background that is really important is given the fact that Indonesia is really a largest gold producer, but we have still really large room to improve in terms of the gold consumption per capita. It is still relatively low compared to our peers like Vietnam and Thailand. So I think this bullion financial services is a very good idea to boost the gold per capita income in Indonesia. So all these backgrounds, this is the strong reason for government of Indonesia to include the bullion financial services in our financial sector omnibus law, or PAVERI previously mentioned as a UU P2SK. So bullion financial services refer to the business activities related to gold that is conducted by financial service institutions. It is covered by including the saving, financing, trading, custody, and other related activities conducted by FIs. So because of financial service institutions, OJK is the financial service regulators is mandated to regulate, to supervise, and to develop this bullion financial service in Indonesia. Through these bullion financial services in Indonesia, we expect that we can support the financial deepening, which is consists of various product of bullion financial services ahead. And then we can also support the gold downstreaming, which is the one of the main agenda from the government of Republic Indonesia. So this is just a chart that shows how the high import of gold represent the high gold import, high gold demand in Indonesia. I will deliver maybe a few of important points of OJK regulation 17 of 2024. This is the important, one of the important regulation in Indonesia history, because by releasing this regulation, we hope we can unlock the potential of bullion or gold market in Indonesia. The idea is we want to promote the growth of bullion financial services while maintaining adequate risk management principles, because we know we are in the very early stage and we have to be very cautious and very prudent in implementing these bullion financial services. The scope of bullion financial services consists of gold saving, gold financing, gold trading, gold custody, and or other activities carried out by the FIs. And then the standard that is used in a bullion financial services is a precious metals in the form of bars or plates, and it's not considered currency, with a minimum gold content is 99.9%. There's a minimum aurum of the gold that is used in bullion financial services. The standard is also break down into two. Indonesia has a Indonesian national standard, or SNI, and also we accept or we do the transaction in Bullion financial services, of course, by the international standard that is decided by the LBMA. In order to take very seriously our risk management principle, for the first time we set up the minimum core capital of the financial institution that can involve in this Bullion financial services. Its minimum core capital is 14 trillion rupees, or maybe around 860 million US dollar. So it is quite high, because we really know this is a very risky business. So we have to make sure that financial institutions do their homework with all the infrastructure and technology. And also because this regulation will regulate banking, stock market, and also non-bank financial institution, which is we have PT Pegadaian as our most well-known non-bank financial institution that has a really very high experience in gold transaction. So so banking and non-banking, the implementation of prudential principles will be revert to the each sector that is already existing in OJK. And maybe this is the ideal Bullion ecosystem in Indonesia. So we identify how to make this Bullion ecosystem running effectively and properly. We try to draw the map. Actually, this is helped by McKinsey, and we adjust a little bit. So it's a bit complicated, but I can tell you this. We can see this into three parts. First part on the top, and in the middle, and in the bottom. Actually, the Bullion banking or Bullion financial services is in the middle, and it's in the middle of this map. So it will support all the physical gold supply chain from the very downstreaming to the downstreaming. So it's really can help all the supply chain. And the regulators also involve some of the well-known institutions like a central bank. The SNMW is our Sharia body, national Sharia body. And then we are trying now to formulate the best format for the gold exchange in Indonesia. And also we already found our home-making center, and maybe we want to develop it further. And then OJK as a financial service regulator for sure. And then currently government of Indonesia in the middle of discussion to form the National Gold Council, because this ecosystem Bullion Indonesia is involved by many sectors and many institutions. So they are, it must have one good coordination, and that's why this has become the idea of the formation of National Gold Council. And I think the last slide will be future developments. So given the fact that all of these Bullion banking and activities currently undertaken by many stakeholders in Indonesia, what are the future developments ahead? First, of course, the development of competitive Bullion products. PT Pegadaian and Bank Syariah Indonesia already developed their products, and going forward, we expect to see more enhanced of their Bullion products that can serve the needs of our Bullion ecosystem. And then cross-institutional coordination is really important in Indonesia. That's why you see the National Gold Council on the previous slide. This is for address this number 2, and the global networking. We realize the global networking is really important, so that's why we come here to SBMA. Thank you for Albert for inviting us we're looking forward to strengthening cooperation with international organization. And then we want to do establishing public awareness, strengthening our regulation, because this is keep implementing and running ahead. And then lastly is we established the Indonesia Bullion Market Association that will be, hopefully, will collaborate with all of the party in this room. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Ajie. I think 6 or 10 minutes is not enough. I can clearly see what all you have to say. Possibly next time, GS, we need to be a little bit more. Last but not least, I'll take few more minutes. Dulguun, do you want to try and explain what you companies? They are into, as I said, into mining. The office is in Singapore, corporate office trying to, of course, for the right reason, trading, banking, finance, capital market, etc. But over to you.
Thank you, Amar. So no worries, I don't have any slides, so I can make it very quickly. And so I'm representing the company called the Boroo. Boroo is an internationally based mining and metals company based in Singapore. And so first of all, thank you very much for SPMA organizers for having this event. And as mentioned in the morning, this is the very special year. It's the 60th anniversary of the Singapore, and hope that the precious metals industries drive the another and the prosperous 60 years of the Singapore for coming years. So many of our the peer panelists discussed touched upon the demand side of the gold. So, but of course, that as I'm representing the mining company, so we need to discuss about the supply side of the thing. So, in the commodities, there is a very important metric called the stock-to-flow ratio. So, which means that if all the mining producing thing is stopped, how long it will take to generate from the already established inventory. So, unfortunately, in the gold, it's because of the asset itself is not consumed, it's accumulated and reserved. So stock-to-flow ratio for the gold is 60 times. What does it mean? That the gold market can sustain itself for 60 more years if none of the mining is producing. So it's a very big number. And then other thing is that in the copper, zinc, and other metals, it's 1, 2, 3, and so which means that especially as a producer and a supplier, you need to be especially careful for this high price environment and how you're going to manage your risk and how to managing your overall your business profile. So it's important to mention that historically all this high price is, of course, have in the short term to bringing the good all-in sustaining margin, good profit margin, and expanding your business. But at the same time, if you look at the history, it's not always bringing a very good positive development, because as a mining company, we need to deal with the many different stakeholders. You go to the national government to get your mining license, go to the regional government to get your water permit, and discuss with your communities how to operate that. So in a single week, you can meet with the many different industry players within a short period of time. So which means that everybody, because of the high price environment, the people and stakeholders and the neighboring communities we are dealing with have different expectations from the companies and from the producers. So that's why we need to carefully and especially cautiously optimistic about the industry we are working on. So that's why it's more than ever, it's a very important commitment to the ESG principles and a commitment to what you're able to deliver to the communities, and also the commitment for these responsible and the traceable gold products that we have been touched upon during the World Gold Council presentation. So those are the things we need to get in line and try to managing our risk of the business. And so, but of course, it's a good time to be in a precious metal industry and a good time to be joining this conference. And thank you very much.
So welcome, Dulguun, to this, and thank you for sharing your mining side. I think that was completely missing. I'll not take, I think, GS, we also want to flate some 2 questions, and all of you can scan the QR in front of you and try to answer those things. I think it will help us. In the interim, I'd like to just summarize a few things. Of course, ASEAN market, very proximity to culturally as well as culture-wise, as well as the overall the way people live their life. They work. I think RCEP help us to do business together quite freely. Third, the most, I think, after hearing them, it looks like one, of course, affinity to gold, like many Asian countries, is very, very strong too. Gold performance continue to help. Third, I think, as I said, currency, the value, people look at gold as, another means of stable currency or tactical investment for their purpose. But one thing more to highlight, more for the audience here is, it has mining, it has, of course, large base of retail customer, it has fabrication. I think Malaysia, what he described, but there's a lot of gold gets fabricated in places like Penang and so on, and cater to the rest of the world. Likewise, if you go Indonesia, there's a huge market for fabrication, which is everybody knows. So I'm just trying to highlight some of the thing which this region does for the rest of the world. And another thing, I think all these constructive, whether from Khan, whether from Nana, whether from Park Ajie and Park Ferry earlier, I think these all are going to expand the ASEAN market, I would say, much more than possibly it has done in the last decade or so. And I think let's all coordinate, stay coordinated, and see how we all can be, partner and collaborate and do business. But answer is clearly 78%, and people do see the benefits, so I think that's good. Let's go to the next. ASEAN is becoming an important region for global gold market with increasing purchasing power. Yes. Definitely yes, and I can see 100% that really any statement. And I think it's performance, what Kun Golf said, gold perform like in less than 18 months, more than 50%, which is, I would say, and Kun Hao from UOB earlier was saying, it is one of the best performing asset for this market. So definitely there are many reasons, and I agree for what this audience is polling here. So
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us,
Thank
hearing
you, sir.
the thoughts and process.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the chair as well as the speakers.